This is the VOA Special English Technology Report. A media rights group has added Bahrain and Belarus to its list of countries with the most restrictions on internet freedom. At the same time, the group removed Libya and Venezuela from a list of countries considered under surveillance. Reporters Without Borders released the lists in its latest Enemies of the Internet report. The group notes the importance of the Internet and social networks in the Middle East during what has been called the Arab Spring. It says social media like Facebook and Twitter have been firmly established as tools for protests and vehicles for freedom. The report identifies 12 countries as enemies of the Internet. Among them are Burma, China, Cuba, Iran, and North Korea. The list also includes Saudi Arabia, Syria, Turkmenistan, Uzbekistan, and Vietnam. Bahrain and Belarus are the newest additions to the list. Reporters Without Borders says Bahrain used repressive measures to block news and information after unrest began in the Arab world last year. It says the government has used a combination of methods to suppress the opposition. These include keeping international media away from the country, arresting bloggers, and harassing human rights activists. Delphine Algond heads the Reporters Without Borders office in Washington. She says Bahrain has a very developed system for watching and blocking online communications. She says the country has increasingly used these systems after unrest started. She says Bahrain has arrested bloggers and other people for what they published on the Internet. She gave the example of Zakaria Rashid Hassan, who was arrested and accused of inciting hatred. Reporters Without Borders says he was charged with disseminating false news and calling for the ouster of Bahrain's rulers. He died last April. 2 officers have been accused of beating him to death. Reporters Without Borders says other bloggers and activists have suffered repeated physical attacks and been discredited by the government. As for Belarus, Ms. Elgond says its government has increasingly blocked websites. She says the number of affected websites blocked is growing. Even some news and opposition websites were attacked. For VOA Special English, I'm Carolyn.
This is the VOA Special English Technology Report. The Hubble Space Telescope continues to make valuable discoveries after more than 20 years in orbit around Earth. Hubble recently showed a 4th moon orbiting Pluto. Astronomers temporarily named it P4. The moon is the smallest to be discovered around the icy dwarf planet. Astronomers estimate that the moon is from 13 to 34 kilometers across. They first saw it in a Hubble photo taken on June 28th. The American Space Agency NASA launched the Hubble Space Telescope in 1990. Reaching that day took years of work. Ed Weiler is NASA's chief astronomer. Mr. Weiler has worked closely with the Hubble program since 1979. He says that when the Hubble was launched, it represented an increase in the ability of other telescopes on Earth by a factor of 10. He says the last time in astronomy that something like this happened was when Galileo put the first telescope to his eye. NASA's first chief of astronomy was Nancy Grace Roman. Ms. Roman joined NASA in 1959. She led the effort that resulted in the creation of the Hubble Space Telescope. She says astronomers had been wanting to get observations from above the atmosphere for a long time. Looking through the atmosphere is somewhat like looking through a piece of old stained glass. The glass has defects in it, so the image is blurred from that. The Hubble telescope orbits about 550 kilometers above Earth. Ms. Roman says she still remembers the first images that it captured. For her, the image that was most striking was the center of a globular cluster. She could see each individual star and its color. The Hubble Space Telescope has helped expand our knowledge of the universe. It helped scientists estimate that the universe began about 14 billion years ago. Earlier estimates had placed it between 10 and 20 billion years old. The Hubble telescope also confirmed the existence of black holes. These are extremely dense masses believed to exist at the center of most galaxies. Their gravitational pull is so strong they absorb light. The Hubble Space Telescope completed its 1,000,000th scientific observation in July. NASA is building a new space telescope to look even deeper into the beginnings of the universe. For VOA Special English, I'm Alex Villarreal.
From VOA Learning English, this is the Technology Report in Special English. Televisions were the stars of January's International Consumer Electronics Show. Known as CES, the yearly gathering in Las Vegas is one of the world's largest consumer electronics trade shows. TVs made news this year because they were bigger and better, with some of the most advanced technology ever. Some TVs used a technology called organic light emitting diodes, or OLED. They were thinner, lighter, offered better color, and were brighter than current LEDs. Ultra high definition TVs were also popular. Most of UHD TVs on display used something called 4K technology. It has 4 times more resolution than current HD TVs. And Sharp Electronics showed off a super high-definition TV with resolution that is 16 times greater than that of standard high-definition TVs. Smart TVs this year were smarter. Many offered technology like voice recognition. One TV from the company TCL uses sensors and voice recognition to know who is watching. It then offers programs based on the user. In addition to TV technology, size also played a major part in CES 2013. Televisions varied in size from big to bigger, with at least two companies, Samsung and Hisense, exhibiting TVs measuring almost 3 meters across. Gary Shapiro is president and CEO of the Consumer Electronics Association, the group that organizes the show. He said CES has more than 20,000 products from over 3,200 companies. But it is more than a trade show. It is a gathering of the brightest minds, industry leaders, and those trying to catch a glimpse of the future. For VOA Learning English, I'm Laurel Bowman.